coming to you live from the largest British prison in the known universe. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
Welcome to the 193rd episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. What the fuck happened to the overlay? Oh my god, it's on the wrong monitor. Just give me a minute. How fucking embarrassing!
No.
It's all gone wrong. It's all gone wrong.
Look. Run the end screen. Run the end screen. Get everyone out.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Oh my god.
Everyone clear out. Podcast is done.
Look at that. There we are.
We can't go.
It's all fixed. Look, pro fucking setup. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow. There we go.
Yeah, no.
Wow.
I occasionally know what I'm doing. Nothing going on here. Nothing to see here. No. Just another episode of the Destiny Down Under Clusterfuck podcast. This week we are joined by your Crucible Doctor. I don't know. Like, I don't know why that is so satisfying to say out loud, but I said it out loud before I wrote the tweet earlier this morning, and I'm for it. I am. But we're joined by Ascendant Nomad, and I don't know. Mylan Games is here as well. He'll probably talk about law shit later on. But dudes, let's go. Okay, Maddie, we'll start with you. Maddie, we'll start with you because you've had the most interesting morning, I think, of us. I mean, even though it's evening for Nomad, but. Can you just tell people what you've been up to this morning? Because, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm too scared.
Well, Danny has called off the wedding, and she's taken all my fucking furniture. As you can see, I've fucking got nothing left in me fucking house. And all I've got left is Twitch chat. And I mean, we all know how Twitch chat is.
Fickle at best.
Very wholesome. No, very wholesome.
No.
Like, tell the people what actually happened, Matt, because it's fucking scary.
Yeah. Okay, like,
so people would be worried.
I saw everyone playing this Phasmophobia or whatever it's called, right? This horror game. It's basically 4-player, up to 4-player. There's a ghost house. You've got to take a bunch of shit in there and work out what the ghost is and get out without dying. So I thought, you know what'd be fun? Put VR on. So I was cleared out all the shit in my room so I can have the VR system set up. And I was playing that this morning with Jugs, my brother, and Anthony. And I squealed. I squealed many a time. I punched my monitor by accident at one point.
You punched your Windows key at one point and had no idea. And it was just like this scary game in the background and then the Windows menu over it.
Oh, really?
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I prefer the divorced story. That was my
yeah. There you go. That's just as terrifying. No, it was... Man, VR is a funny one because... It's one of those activities that's hell fun for the person doing it, but it's not as fun for the person watching. It's all like, you're like, whoa, and everyone's like, it looks 2D. You know, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone else is just like watching along at home, going, okay, Twitch chat's on the roof, and everything just looks like janky hands flying around. But honestly, I sat and watched a bit. I was sitting playing guitar and just stuffing around, and I watched a bit, and I did start to get sucked into it. So I'm like, I can't do that, man. I am such a cat when it comes to scary stuff. I jumped in, you know, the bit with I don't know what the fish with the bloody light on its head is in Finding Nemo. Like I jumped in that the first time I saw it. So I'm no good, good with like suspense horror shit.
Can you not do horror at all? You can't do like TV or anything.
Thematically, it doesn't bother me. Like I watched The Walking Dead all the way home, but it's just the
Walking Dead's not scary.
No, I know it's not.
Now.
But I mean, like it's got zombies in it, so I'm just trying to earn my like paranormal activity in movies like that. Fuck that, I'm out. No way. No way.
Okay.
No way. I'm probably losing.
Did you ever watch what was that really good one? It was like it was a House on Haunted Hill. Was it that?
Haunting of Hill
Was that
House.
on Netflix? What's that?
Haunting of Hill House. That was insane.
Did you? That was so good. Have you seen that log?
As if I've fucking seen that. Like the first word of the title is like, nope. Like haunting. No thanks. I don't know. Like I'm not scared of ghosts. I don't believe in fucking ghosts. I don't like the jump scares.
Oh.
I'm not. Yeah, conceptually, I'm not afraid of much, but it's just the suspense. It fucking kills me. I'm sure. I haven't got chat up. I haven't got chat up, but I'm sure that I'm being absolutely fucking slaughtered at the moment, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I'm the sacrificial lamb.
You've got a few people. You've got a few people in your corner, actually.
Good fellow Frady cats.
Anyway,
yes.
I want to go back and watch the VOD of the stream, because it's very hard to judge like the quality of it when you're in VR, just to see what it looks like on, you know.
What are you expecting? Do you want me to sum it up for you?
Me fucking just walking
it's basically
into a corner,
you
screaming.
just in a room going. While there's like sort of a slightly confusing game on the screen. That's the whole thing. But the scary bits was scary as fuck. So
one of the key reasons you stream VR in the whole setup is to look a bit like a wanker, and for everyone to laugh at you for looking like a wanker.
That is true.
I mean, that's basically I think either of the reason that either Matt or I stream entirely and also do this podcast. It seems, it's very on brand, Matt. I'll give you that. It's definitely on brand. But anyway, look, welcome, Nomad. We haven't had you on the show before, but you're someone who, we've been around and, we know each other a little bit. So,
yes.
For the benefit of those who are watching the DDU and maybe haven't experienced you or your content or what you're about, can you sum yourself up in your own words, what you do and how you try and help people in the Destiny community?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Ascendant Nomad. I've been around for about 5 years. I help people get better at Crucible. That's sort of the one-liner of it all.
Oh God, I thought you were gonna say you read lore. I was like, oh, I'm fucked now. Another British person.
I was going to say that saying my name is probably copyrighted at this point.
So recently, Mylan, I did return to streaming. And one of the things I do on my introductory segments for streaming is I read a bit of your lore. And people spam exclamation OnlyFans in the chat, and I blame you entirely. Because without this book, I would not be, well, frankly, sexually harassed on my own stream.
Have you been harassed into hosting marbles races yet? Because that's really kind of the end game.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Not yet.
Right. Look, keep an eye out for that. That's a rebellion you want to quell with very quickly.
Yeah. No. Baby steps. No. Okay. So back to what I do. I'm sort of a Crucible coach. I've helped people get better at Crucible whether it's just to like get like not forgotten in the comp rewards, whether it's just to like not suck at quick play log, or whether it's to or whether it's to go even further and like train them for scrims.
Yeah,
but you know why he doesn't criticize me? Because you need to play Destiny to suck at it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was going to be the punchline of the segment. I was going to ask what he can do, what like give me 2 tips that I can focus on to help me, and then the one tip that you need to focus on is just actually open Destiny, and you will improve.
In fairness, he has been playing a lot of Halo, and that's equally applicable. That's actually where my history comes from. Yep. It's Halo 3. I used to do MLG stuff for that.
Right.
But then Destiny came out, and I really, really enjoyed Destiny since the alpha. And I started becoming sort of this Crucible coach after seeing Dr. Lupo, Ramblin, and Ninja with Noel do trials carries. And I basically stalked them on Crucible Sherpa and tried to do what they do, and obviously that went out really well because I'm sitting here talking to you guys. No, I'm kidding. That was way too harsh. That's way too harsh.
There's no too harsh,
first
man.
Appearance, I'm so sorry.
There's no too harsh. That's probably the thing that people kind of ease themselves into coming onto this podcast, but you just don't need to. You go as hard as you want.
Okay.
Better.
Fair enough. So yeah, I went to YouTube, started making these videos, almost like a video essay type format for like Crucible stuff. It's so pointless and so needless and completely overproduced, but people enjoy it. And now I'm here, and I have those people to thank for even being in this room. So thank you, and thank you both for having me.
No, you're welcome, dude.
Oh man, thanks for coming on.
To be honest,
So,
to be honest, I I went through probably a year of like trying pretty hard to improve my game and annoying the living shit out of Sassy, who's still kind of like, I guess, the Australian equivalent of what you're doing, more or less.
Yeah.
And I found your content probably maybe 18 months ago. I'm not sure. It was a while, but I sort of ticked along.
Yeah,
and I think
it was a while ago. Yeah.
there's a lot of things that you present to people in a way that they probably aren't thinking about it. And that's probably my biggest takeaway is that, when you're in the moment and you're just trying to get better, you can't get better in the moment. You've got to understand what you're trying to do before you get there. And I think that's probably the biggest, most helpful thing that I've learned out of that. Like how to look at how to structure the way you approach like sniper lanes and all that sort of shit. So anyway, Thank you from me. Now I'm a solid 1.1 KD instead of 0.8. So there we go.
That's good. That's good.
So you said you were around with Destiny 1 trials as well?
Yes, I was.
So I'm interested to hear your opinion of it back then and it now, and what boat you sit in. Oh, why not, mate? Fucking, you want to chuck some politics in there too if you want. If you want, you going for Trump or fucking?
God, no.
Just so you know, I am Canadian. So I have no comment on the matter.
Oh, there you go.
I have no comment on the matter. Though I quite enjoy when world leaders don't lock children in cages. I'm sorry, cancel me now. But with respect to Destiny 1 trials, it was I think it was better, but not by much. I think there's a lot of rose tinted glasses opinions floating around. Destiny 1 Year 3 was really bad, and I think people forget like the sticky grenade meta and how shit that was. It was literally like, it was just like you come in and you throw a fusion grenade and thank you very much. Round over.
What? That was the only time I was good at Crucible.
Ability crutch, nice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that much better than what it is now. I'd say right now is worse because I think just the nature of like Trials of the Nine and how much of a failure that ended up being, then this huge long absence, and then like multiple teasers and leaks and this, that, and the other, and then Trials coming back, Season of the Void, it was hyped to be this huge thing that ultimately didn't deliver. It was great for like 3 weeks, and then people were like, oh, this is kind of bad because people are win farming and token farming and gatekeeping and cheating and recoveries and all of that. It just exploded. And they didn't tweak it for all the different variables that were in play, unfortunately, especially on PC with the cheating situation starting to become a really bad problem leading up to Trials, and they didn't have anything in place for that. So now I'd say Trials is worse just because of cheating, because of the state of recoveries. Destiny as a franchise has matured to the point where people are properly, like, they have recovery service business, like proper cash flows.
Yeah.
And I actually got solicited by one of those services not too long ago, and they were saying, name your price and we'll give you whatever you want. And I'm just like, how much money do you have that you can say that to someone?
You should have just tried something batshit like 100,000 or something.
How much is your integrity worth?
Yeah.
But really, if someone said, I'll give you 100,000, you're like, oh.
See, Log, I prefer name your price because I don't have any like emotional attachment to money. But if you say integrity, I will say 10 Jaffa cakes, and that would be that.
It's a large price.
10 Jaffa cakes. 10 Jaffa cakes is my price for anything. I'm down to do anything. Just give me 10 Jaffa cakes. I don't know
what a Jaffa cake is.
Okay, it's like a sponge biscuit with a chocolate top and a little bit of orange just in between the two layers. It's beautiful.
I haven't even tasted one, but I haven't. It's my favorite cake already. I've never even tasted one.
Look, we're just going to go on we're going to go on a bit Jaffa? Of a Jaffa, Jaffa's like the lolly Jaffa.
No, Jaffa.
JFFA.
No.
How did you say it?
You're not doing this. Jaffa. It's Jaffa.
What did I say?
We're not doing this again. It'll be a week of me fending off people trying to assassinate you in the YouTube comment section because I know you won't do it yourself.
Wait, is it June or June?
Don't.
Can we talk about the cake meta of life just for a second? I just want to sidestep Destiny entirely. Look, I am a huge fan of sponge cakes. I reckon sponge cakes are the most underrated cake going. And I'm glad that you brought that up because I've been wanting to get that off my chest for my whole life. I love mud cakes, but if you're at a work function or something and you have a mud cake, you have to deal with the fact that you are literally walking around with a sack of concrete in your guts for the rest of the day. Sponge cake tastes just as delicious and you can just get on with your life.
Okay, wait.
All right.
Marble cake.
Oh, God, don't. It's kind of like the hybrid child in a way, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's that is the meta. That is the end game.
Yeah, okay. All right. You've sold me on that. Now, back to Destiny.
Yeah, wait. So, why'd you bring up Jaffa cake? That really threw me.
Because that's the price of his integrity and or soul.
Oh, sorry.
We were talking about integrity.
Trials. And people, those companies asking, okay, right. So what... Let's say cheating, they resolve cheating. Let's just magic wand, cheating's out of the picture. Sure. Do you think trials can ever get back to like its loved state and what needs to happen for it to be, or do you think it's times past and it would never, it's different times now, there's different games out. It's not going to return to its peak.
It absolutely can go back to what it was, and I think it can go even further because Bungie as a team has learned a lot, and it doesn't seem like they've learned. They do like to repeat the same mistakes. Festival of the Lost, but they have learned. They have learned, and they are quite smart over there, despite contrary to popular belief.
Despite the seas of Rees.
Trials has an image problem, and if you just make a good game mode again, if you solve anti-cheat, you solve the loot issue, you put in adept weapons, you make it a little bit more accessible to the casual player like it used to be in Destiny 1, people will cover it a lot more positively. You'll have guys like Cross, you'll have guys like MTash. All the big players will suddenly start playing it again. It'll be more visible. They won't be bitching about it constantly like they are right now. And when the noise or surrounding trials becomes a lot more positive, people will play it. People right now, I've noticed in the Destiny community, because I'm now starting to reach that point in my content creator career, if you can call it that, that people listen to what I say, which is a terrible thing anyone should do because I have a lot of opinions.
I don't think I've ever been there or will ever be there. I'm glad.
Mate, I thought I was there, but I've realised since coming to Twitch, I'm not.
All right, sorry.
It might help if you play Destiny.
Yeah, it's probably a start. Slickly executable.
Anyways, just to go back to it, I found that a lot of people, they're not willing to think about the game critically for themselves. They're very willing to parrot other people's opinions. And if that's the name of the game, so be it. We don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not sure many people like that when they realize what it is exactly. But if that's the game, then play the game. So Bungie needs to fix the game mode, make it a good piece of content, first and foremost. And from there, word of mouth will do the rest, I think.
Yeah,
do you have an ideal, like, what is your ideal piece of content? Do you have an idea of what you would like to see? Or is that something that you haven't
for trials
really thought about? Well, I mean, does it have to be trials? I guess that's what I'm trying to ask. Do you mean, is it modifying trials or is it something new? Like, what's the end game PvP content that what you would love to see?
An end game PvP content I'd love to see. Well, I would love to see a proper objective mode back in the game. Like, Countdown was pretty Countdown was as close to like Valorant or Cisco or whatever you want to call it, all these competitive game modes where you actually had to play for a bomb, you had to play around, you had to strategize, you had to coordinate. It was peak Destiny to me in terms of like competitiveness. Bring that back, or bring some modified version of that, and have a proper ranked ladder. Like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, it's complete space magic. It's completely ridiculous. There's no such thing as balance. Haha, one-shot weapons, good meme, controller snipers, whatever. Face it, folks are rambling on about this week. All of that's going to happen. All of that discussion is going to happen. But at least just have a ranked experience that people can enjoy. People can be incentivized to actually play. And the best way you make that incentivized is you lock some of the sickest loot in the game behind it, even if it's just ornaments, just like the raid. Like you play the raid for the raid stuff, right? Play Crucible for the best Crucible weapons, and not stuff like Revoker, which gives you bullets when you miss. Proper weapons and proper armor that looks great. You know.
I feel like a lot of that would be really healthily tied up in like transmog, in ornaments and things like that. I feel that like you don't need to give the most competent people in the Crucible a better weapon than everyone else, because it just compounds the problems, right? Like, but if you can give them a means to distinguish themselves from everyone else, that's really what they're there for. That's what they're there doing to begin with. They're kicking people's heads in because they want to be seen kicking people's heads in, right? You know, it's not what I do. It's not what you do, but that's what they're after. And I feel like there needs to be a much better long-term chase in PvP. And I think that's...
Well, we had that with Not Forgotten.
I mean, yeah, it was a long-term quest for a gun, but the long-term sort of, you know, when you're talking like a long-term, like, even if it's a seasonal ladder that is refreshed and new ornaments every year of, you know, if you can make your way into the top, whatever, 10%, you get something. You know, things have got to be scarce, but I don't know. I think that like the problem that they're really going to face with a lot of these issues is luring people back in. And I understand that like what you're saying with, like content creators, once you sort of sway the loudest voices, then a lot of people will follow that. But by equal measure, I know so many people who've, you know, like, well, I'm trying to think of was it Solstice that we had the quest step where you had to go in and get 7 trials wins, and everyone was, you know, people who weren't normally in that playlist were all of a sudden back in there. And for me, who like I dabble every now and then, I had a great time because I could get to 5-6 wins, no dramas, because the skill floor all of a sudden just, you know, there's a heap more people playing it. It's not just the sweats. So I think that like I'd like to see them take, I think survival right now is a great place to cut your teeth because you're playing under skill-based matchmaking and that. I'd like to see them have that. That's the training wheels, and then make something that is not trials, but have that be like the ranked. That's, I don't know, that would be my take.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would be excited for an objective mode. I honestly think the timing of like trials, the first trials, and Twitch, you know, it really was exciting to watch, and it was unique. And I do think the gaming landscape has changed a bit, and Twitch is definitely, live streaming in general has influenced what makes a game exciting, because when things are exciting to stream, it typically dictates how successful they are as well. And I don't know if trials holds up in the current sort of climate. There's lots of new ideas coming out, so it would be great to see something different. And I think that's hard in competitive, because then you got the aspect of putting something different in competitive too. But
it's I don't think they should make something that is just there to be inherently watchable. I don't think that's how you make good content. It's definitely good in terms of like maintaining community interest, but you look at raids in Twitch history, like you can only watch Vault of Glass so many times. You can only watch Wrath of Machine so many times. It's more fun to play than to watch, right?
Yeah.
The most important thing is.
Well, I mean, it's just, you can say the same about PvP though.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just pointing that out. It's like, yeah, it's if you have no new content for a while, it gets stale, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
The number one thing is loot, And we just saw it with the trailer that came out this week. Everyone was really hyped. Lots of confusion, obviously, that we don't really know how this is going to affect the game. I can already see the sweat spanning everything. But people were talking. People were talking about the loot, and we all play this game because the loot is great. The guns are great. They're fun to shoot. And if you lock some good loot behind PvP, people will play PvP. It's just that simple.
Are you in the team of who cares if it's fucking broken? At least it'll be fun. Are you in the team of we've got to balance everything?
Okay, so I've been on both sides. So
you have to give that disclaimer before someone finds a screenshot of your Twitter saying fucking yeah, go on.
Mylan, honestly, I can't wait for the day I get cancelled. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna have
I'm gonna be right there, but mate, I'll tell you what, I'll be your fucking canary in the gold mine, because the day I get cancelled, then maybe you're on the menu, significantly behind me. I'll be gone long before you, man.
Right,
perfect. So I was Camp Sweat last year, because I was trying to get into the they who shall not be named clan. I was really trying to. I was trying
fucking dodged a bullet there, didn't you?
I swear to God, I was running with the same sort of mutuals, but I never got close to anything because it ended up being a big high school boys club, anyways.
Oh fuck that!
And also there was the issue that I was just not good enough. So there was that, because I didn't play the game 8 hours a day. And I think that's something people forget, is that these guys, they literally just play Destiny. So they do play, they have gone to the point where they are playing their own version of a game that they like to play. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think if they just stay in their corner and they're happy in their corner and they understand that what they're playing is delineated from reality, I think that's fine and that's healthy. I think that's just another way to play.
I know nothing about this how this works. So they have they run scrims with rules or some shit, and
yeah. So they run a very, so it's gone a lot better in the last few months. But basically, yeah, they used to run these very, very restrictive rule sets. Like they would ban most of the space magic-y stuff, like most of the Destiny stuff. So they would ban I mean, they ban One-Eyed Mask and the most broken exotics in the game, Antaeus Warmaster Crown. But then they would ban stuff like Telesto. They would ban all heavy weapons. They banned swords. They banned Symmetry at one point because of the trailer that came out for it in Seas of Dawn, because they basically showed it one-shotting people. And we were like, we don't know how this functions. Why are you banning it?
Because we're scared. That's why.
I remember there was one rule set floating around that banned Lumina when it came out. What? Which I didn't understand in the slightest.
It's a friendly gun. Come on.
Yeah, it's a friendly gun. But this is the thing is, I'm not sure how much actual testing was put into, how much rigorous testing was actually done when they were making these rule sets. The clan, they who shall not be named, I remember hearing, this is hearsay, I remember hearing a story that they had an inner circle of about 6 or 7, and of that 6 or 7 they would sit down and make the rules, only 2 of them would be speaking. So it never really was mass tested or widely vetted. It was just a couple of people making the rules for everybody else, and the rules incidentally favored them and their playstyles the best. And that's where a lot of the toxicity came from. That's where a lot of the resentment came from, because the people in charge of the rules are also winning all the tournaments. So there was no integrity, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
What's the function of having? I can see there being fun in versing your friends and that, but when you take it that seriously and there's not a competitive esports scene behind it, I can imagine if there was a Destiny esports scene and this was practicing for that,
sure,
I would get that, but we didn't have that. So I don't know what is that just for fun? That's fun?
Well, initially it was for fun.
Right.
Then, I mean, these guys were 14 or 15 when they started playing Destiny 1. So they were teenagers, fueled mostly by ego. Then a bit of pocket change in the form of tournaments came around, like $100, $200, some up to $5,000, which is a joke in most esports scenes.
Yeah.
5,000 is nothing. And then you have to split that 3 ways, right? So it's 1667 or something like that per person. So there was never really an esports scene, and a lot of it does come down to Bungie's own rules of terms of competition, where you cannot have a prize pool greater than 10K per year. So there wasn't a lot of incentive from the get-go because Bungie did not allow or have the permutations to allow other people to step in and create tournaments larger than that. So it was neutered from the start. So in comes They Who Shall Not Be Named. They win all the tournaments, the fan-made tournaments, the community tournaments. They get invited to other tournaments. They win those. And so they slowly build this following, right? They would get thousands of people watching them when they streamed, lots of people fueling and like just fueling their ego, basically. And that's basically what it came down to. It was a bunch of ego in teenagers.
Right. So the incentive would have been through Twitch viewership, really.
Twitch viewership, cloud,
and
all of that,
and creating this illusion that
penis. Yeah. I mean, the reality is, and I think Jugs just said this in chat. If they were really, really, really fucking good and they wanted to go and like play a game that actually had a competitive scene, they'd probably find out really quite quickly how, you know, off the pace they are in terms of actual god skill.
A few of these guys did, and they went to Overwatch and Valorant and all these other games. And then they came back. I don't know why. I'm not going to make an assumption of their skill level. They're very skilled players. But fundamentally, the Destiny community is unique and it has its own draw. I mean, we're still here, aren't we?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Right. So what you're saying is your team, who cares if it's broken?
Yeah. I'm team have fun, stop bitching, and just play the game. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm
hoping. Hey, so what do you think about stasis? That can completely fuck everything in the Crucible.
Yeah, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah, I think
right.
I like. Okay, so here's one thing people forget because nobody really runs this in the Crucible anymore. We have a smoke bomb already. It's called Tether, and when you are smoked, what happens? Log. Do you know this, or shall I explain it to you in?
Well, I mean, you just moved really slow, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's nearly being frozen, isn't it?
Yeah. So like stasis will be a game changer. It will definitely disrupt the Crucible. I am excited because it's nothing we've ever seen before. I know the people in charge behind this, like they're not dumb. Like there's going to be some balancing. I firmly believe that. And I think it's going to be interesting to learn it, and it's interesting to see how it will change Crucible. From what I've seen so far, what it's going to do mostly is improve verticality and potentially, you know, the whole slowing people down thingy. That's a thing too. But we don't know. We haven't played the game, so I reserve judgment.
I think a lot of people really get on that, like when you think back to it was Taken King when Hammer Titans and all that sort of stuff came in, right? And people's knee-jerk reaction is like, oh, this is new. It's going to be fucking broken because every time we've ever had anything new, it's been fucking broken. And, you know, maybe there's an element of truth in that, but I think at the same time, just go with it. Like there's nothing stopping you using it. You've got access to the same game as everyone else. So if it's broken, just play with it, you know? And at that point, there's a decision to be made by Bungie and they go, well, everyone's just using the stasis subclasses. That's cool for the release window of Beyond Light, but we probably want to fucking scale that back a bit for the future of the game. And that happens. So just go with it. But who cares? Have fun.
I mean, if it's not breaking, it's boring.
Yeah, exactly.
This is another like genuinely like good point there, Mylan. It's like if it's too neutered, if it's Destiny 2 Year 1 with slow time to kill, which I would love to have that conversation. Double primary, I think was a really good decision. If you make everything neutered, then it becomes no fun. There needs to be an element of surprise. There needs to be an element of high risk, high reward. The Crucible right now does that really, really well. Like everything is high risk, high reward. Especially like the only archetype of weapon I'd say that isn't high risk, high reward is auto rifles. 600 RPM are auto rifles. They're a little too easy. So like your summoners and your annoying hungers and your forward paths.
I feel attacked, but you know, moving on. Only slightly attacked.
I'm enjoying this. I know I'm just like quick firing questions off you, but we don't often have smart people on our channel, so you know that's not true.
No, it's good because I think Matt and I are both very much in the sphere of kind of like we are very passionate about the game. Obviously, you know, like we talk about it an hour. Well, we try to talk about it for probably 20 minutes, an hour and a half every week. But you know, like to get people with a more dedicated perspective to facets of the game.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's the raids or stuff and that it's huge fuel for us because we're kind of like absolute jack of all trades, master of none. So that's why Matt's gonna fucking grill your face off for probably the next 20 minutes.
That was the most politician answer I've ever heard. To get someone with a more dedicated perspective, like, oh mate, you mean you play the fucking game?
Okay, so to that end, I do want to say that I'm fundamentally just a Destiny fan. I just play a lot of PvP because I like clicking the heads and shooting the mans. I don't really know any more than anybody else, to be honest. Like I play Gambit. What the hell much do I know? I don't play this game for like 10 hours a day. I just look at it and I look at the outrage on Twitter and I'm just like, you fucking wankers. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like I'm really tired of that of the same polarized talking points. That's mostly it.
You know what you need to do? You need to do what me and Maddie have done. You need to just like turn off all your alerts from Twitter and don't go there anymore. And like, I mean, in my case, still fail miserably at not going there because you just, I don't know. I mean, what else do you read when you take a shit? You end up there eventually.
Log, real quick.
Yeah.
Log, real quick. Can you count on one hand how many people you've subtweeted this week?
I don't think I've. Oh, yeah, no, I have.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, I think. But they were 3 good ones. They were 3 that weren't like, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I'm a big believer, and this will probably shock absolutely fucking no one, but I'm a big believer in like having a contrary voice for most things, especially when we're talking about a video game. So like, I don't ban people, and I tend not to block people or mute people or anything unless you're an outright fucking idiot. Like if you've got something to say that's the exact opposite of what I'm going to say, I'll hear it. And I tend to fall into that myself. But sometimes the things that I say are a little bit too harsh for me to say them straight to the person that said the thing that I'm reacting to. So subtweet. It's a game. Yeah. It's good fun.
That's fair. Yeah. Marlon, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course.
So how come you don't have smart people? How come you're not because you're a prominent community member and you're very good with the whole lore thing, but that requires a lot of innate Destiny knowledge. Like I would have assumed that covers both parts of the game, though, right?
You'll be surprised of how much you can read and know about the game without playing the game. Like, okay, so like especially towards the end of a season, there's nothing that's going to be revealed in game that's different, and Destiny functions very much on a lot of the depth is in the lore books. You know, once I've played whatever new strike mission is, the campaign, the raid, there's nothing that's going to be actually in game that's going to change my opinion about how I interpret a lore entry, unless it's something like a weekly mission. So the interference missions, I was doing nearly all of them up until probably halfway through the season, and then I knew the formula and there wasn't going to be anything hugely changed. I made a video on the most recent one because that obviously added almost like a cut scene to it, and that was really important to see. But it's very, you can surprisingly write pretty good lore videos without playing a whole bunch of Destiny. The only things you miss out on is like when people correct me, actually in this strike, there's a 100th variation of a voice dialogue that says the Exo Stranger has a fish mate, and he's like, yeah, okay, I haven't heard that. Like, but that's yeah. So, is this question getting to like why I don't play as much Destiny? Is that what you're getting at as well?
No. Because I understand not playing Destiny. I mean, I barely play. I work 50, 60-hour weeks. So I just like, because it's interesting to me to understand why people only get wrapped up on one side of the game or the other. I'm personally just a Destiny fan.
Oh, right.
So I play everything.
Honestly, like the origin story for me making lore videos, Logs actually only finally worked it out. And he said to me like a couple of weeks ago, I think I think Matt just stumbled into lore. Like he's not like he just found it and then rolled with it. And there's some truth to that. Like
Lore was
when
the
some of
shit
the
that
other-
stuck to the wall, I think was the
yeah, it was the piece of shit I threw at the wall that stuck the most.
Fair enough.
Like people make fun of me. Okay. Some of the people who are really into the lore, okay, like they enjoy talking about it in their spare time, and like they'll do that in their spare time. My personality has never been in any game ever to read entries, to do any of that. When I was making YouTube videos, nothing was really working. I was enjoying Destiny, and I happened to read the House of Wolves book. I thought, oh, this is cool, and I made lore on that. My personality, though, I like to talk to people, and I was also teaching at a uni then, and I like teaching people, and so making lore videos actually appealed to connecting and educating and teaching. So I don't have this like, I love lore, but I actually enjoy discovering stuff and I enjoy sharing that with people. And that's where my passion for it comes from. It's actually not like I need to know lore about fucking everything, because I actually roll my eyes a bit at that. But I love reading stuff. I love, like, when I read something, I generally I get more excited about making a lore video than I do about playing Destiny. I'll read something and be like, holy shit, that's fucking cool. That's a cool theory. And then I'll start crafting that. And then I enjoy that process quite a lot. And I enjoy sharing that. And I enjoy people's, listening to it and sharing their opinions. That's the process that I really enjoy. Big time.
That makes sense. Cool.
All right, well, you take Log's position in the podcast because you're better.
I was just about to say that this is probably the best segment we've had in Yonks, where it's just sort of rolled from one thing to the other without needing to be steered at all, which is just unreal. That's why we do the podcast. But
Mylan, if you want to go make a cup of tea, I can take your job as well.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been reading the lore. What do you have you read everything? Are you just starting to do it? Are you just getting into it?
Okay, so I love the Books of Sorrow. That's a bit of a cheap thing to say because that's the only thing I've read in its entirety. I'm going through the Iron Lords right now. I love the Iron Lords sort of origin story, how they all came together.
Volume 2.
Yeah. I loved the Felwinter in-game entry when that was a thing in Season of the Worthy. Yes. I need to read up on all the interference stuff. I am still reading the lore series about the lore entries for the Gardener and the Winnower and the origins of the paracausal entities. But it's just, again, it's one of those things where I feel really guilty of because I love this. I love reading and I love fantasy and love sci-fi, and all of this is damn good sci-fi. It just is. And it's also using fantastical elements too, and it's drawing from every single period of mythology and everything. It makes me very excited, but it's one of those things where I wish I really knew more of. And I've been reading and listening to a lot of your videos and a lot of Bife's videos, and sort of trying to piece in.
We don't say that name here, mate.
Okay. The other ones, I've been okay. Scratch that. I've been watching your videos and some other blokes' videos, and I'm trying to piece it all together and get a coherent understanding in my head of the universe. But it's there's so much to it. It's overwhelming.
It is. I think that's the thing. The takeaway at the moment is that where Destiny is now and how long it's run for. You could basically go and search any aspect of it and find a video by Matt or someone who actually knows what they're talking about on YouTube. So it's good. You get out of it what you want.
It's very hard. I mean, I actually do think that that I'm hoping that should be a problem that should be on their radar of how because technically the books do solve that. So when they asked me to help curate them books, I had in my mind to put the volumes in an order that required zero knowledge of lore. So if you read volume 1, you don't need anything, and then you can go on to volume 2, and then the way that the entries are put, you're always going to get a bit of information about the character you need to know about before you read about that character in some way.
Yeah.
You can't always do that because of the way the timelines work. But for the most part, that was like one of the primary goals that I used was this is what I had written on my sheet. I want someone who's never read any lore to be able to pick up volume 1 and read it from start to finish and understand it, or read an individual chapter and understand it. Volume 1 was pretty easy. Volume 2 got a lot harder, and volume 3 is fucked. No, no, it's true, because as you get to like, once you've got a lot of the good stories, you start getting really small pieces of lore that have this like fucking puzzle fitting together, and you've got to decide like, oh, there's this bit of fallen lore. Does that go better here, or does that go better after that story, or does that go better in the fucking story itself? And then it gets increasingly complicated. But yeah, I think the physical copies do that a little bit. I guess they help out for new players.
Yeah. Would it be facetious of me to say that I can highly relate to that?
In what way? Like, it's good or bad?
No, it's a good problem to have, because you're trying to solve a problem where you're trying to wean somebody completely new to an experience into this mad web, this mad world that you're trying that you are so well versed in. And there are times when I feel like that when I'm making Crucible videos, because it's like in my head, like I have like in my head, I'm like thinking about like scrims and threes and everything like that, Trials of Osiris, and then I realize I get comments like, "Wait, I thought pulses were bad," and it's like, no, okay, you don't know anything about Crucible, so I have to just like try and curate my videos to be a bit like a little bit more beginner friendly in a way. Yeah, that sounded really facetious. And let's just
no. What it was you bringing a 45-minute conversation to a complete and perfect end by going back to where it started to begin with. So there you go. You know, that's probably never been articulately done on this podcast ever before. So there you go. It's a fucking first. But what we might do now, gents, is jump into the literal shit ton of Destiny events and happenings and news and stuff that's happened this week. First and foremost, we'll talk about Festival of the Lost off the bat. It's basically the same again. There's a few new masks. You can get some new stuff. If you burned yourself out doing it last time, you'll probably do so again, and I wouldn't recommend it before going into an actual content drop. So just do it if you want. Don't do it if you don't. Have a good time. Get spooky. Cool. It gave us a good reason to tidy up the overlay of the podcast, I suppose. That's a plus. But we did see a heap
that worked perfectly, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, purple. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I didn't twig that until just then. But this week, an absolute shitload of information has dropped on, you know, what the new exotics we're going to be looking forward to in Beyond Light are, and then, you know, the TWAB with the information about the way they're changing mods, what they're deprecating, all of that sort of stuff. So we might roll through that now. We'll just sort of shoot from the hip as we normally do, and go through and discuss them as they come up. So we'll start with the weapons. The first of which being an old favorite that they've changed up somewhat. No time to explain. It's perks. Precision hits against enemies affected by stasis will return to the magazine. So you get bullets back. Stack this effect to summon a portal which fires bullets from an alternate timeline of the weapon. So it basically gives you a no time to explain stasis, buddy. It's a little thing that shoots bullets. Who's on the other side of the hole?
Praetus, dum-dum.
Yeah, okay, my bad.
Also, that question has a lot of different answers.
Yeah, we're going to leave that alone. I realize how...
Yeah. I just want to know if it stacks with Arc Soul.
So you could then they could be like friends, like a good and a bad conscience on your shoulder.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right.
I can't see why it wouldn't. Happened? I can't see why it wouldn't.
Wait, what happened to No Time to Explain?
No, I don't have time to explain it, mate.
Well, we didn't have time to explain.
Yeah, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to Cloud Strike. It's
Anyway,
it was so.
No Time to
come on.
Explain has good. No Time to Explain pretty much wrapped up its lore, so it'd be interesting how they introduce it back because there will be a lore tab on it because it's an exotic. So last we heard about it, Praedyth was the one who fucking made it, who was in the Vault of Glass, and was the one who etched Soon onto the barrel because he saw the darkness in our future, and so he sent it through as a message. Hence why it's probably coming back in.
I mean,
oh my days.
To be honest, he could have been a bit more descriptive. Like
Soon, I know.
Soon. Like, I mean, if you go out to your letterbox right now and you get an envelope that just says soon, I mean, you assume
you'd be scared,
that.
Though.
I don't know that I'd be scared. I just think it was like a really bad really bad marketing campaign.
Soon.
I mean, maybe you would be scared. If it was scrawled in blood, then I'd be fucking terrified. But if it was just, yeah, okay, I'd be worried. Yep, I redact my my argument. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think I have long suspected that at some point we're going to get Praedyth turning up, and I don't know whether that's now. I don't think so, but I can hope so.
I have a lot of people talking about Vault of Glass often. Has there been some hints about it?
It's coming. We know it's coming back. They've said that.
Okay.
So
I must have missed that memo.
Jesus Christ, man. We've spoken about it.
It's a really big memo.
We've definitely spoken about it. Everyone was so excited, and Matt's like,
that memo was thick with 3 C's.
Right.
Yeah.
Look, maybe I hadn't had a coffee yet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
What?
It fell out the back of your head onto the floor.
Do we know anything else apart from it just coming back?
No, and that's the question sort of that everyone has been raising is in what context do they bring it back and how and why?
Like what planet and stuff.
Well, it's not going to be on fucking
I would imagine
Venus, is it?
They could bring back Venus. It'd be really cool if they did it in the Infinite Forest. I wonder if the Vex would simulate something like that.
Isn't the Infinite Forest shoofing off? Isn't it going?
Oh, yeah, that's true. It is getting vaulted.
I honestly think there's going to be like another, because all you did was go through a gate. There'll be another gate somewhere and a similar setup.
I bet you the Vault of Glass is actually on the Leviathan. Oh no, that's going away too. Damn it. Oh no.
The scale of the what the fuck is it called? Destiny content.
It'll be the Pyramidion. The Pyramidion or something like that.
No, I reckon. Is being, so Io is being vaulted as well.
I reckon.
Oh yeah. No. The Pyramidion has multiple gates. There'll be a gate elsewhere.
Okay.
Vault of Glass.
Gotcha. Maybe.
The gate for Vault of Glass will be in the Cosmodrome. You heard it here first.
That sounds pretty likely, actually.
Yep.
Somehow it'll make sense.
Yep. It'll make sense. Bungie will just be smart and do what they do and big brand stuff.
I just want my Fatebringer. Is that too much to ask?
No, I desperately want one.
Okay.
I desperately want one.
Okay.
Onto the next exotic that we'll discuss. The Cloud Strike. Precision final blows generate lightning bolts at the target location. Rapid precision shots summon an entire fucking storm at the point of impact. I've added a little bit of creative license to that. Don't think that Bungie have all of a sudden removed the T for teen rating. The little clip of this in the trailer where, someone very, very efficiently domes one Guardian and then the 2 Guardians standing behind them are just vaporized by fucking lightning.
Yeah.
Makes it look like it could be absolutely fucking broken. But I honestly believe that you will have to do some pretty impressive shit to even be able to get to that. Like, it'll need to be rapid precision sniper shots in PvP.
My guess is that they were, like the 2 actors who were vaporized, they were bodied before the shot, and you could see them running towards. Like, we frame by frame analyze this because we think they faked the shot just like they faked the moon landing. GG. Yeah, 2 of the Guardians moving towards the AoE zone of the Cloud Strike. I think the Cloud Strike AoE zone is actually quite small, but obviously for dramatic effect, it was dramatized. What is more interesting to me, because I'm a PvP nut, and we've talked about this a lot in the server, and we talked about this in Encore, is that there's going to be a concentrated shift of snipers going to high zoom. And what we saw with Cloud Strike, just from pixel peeping, I think it's a 45 zoom scope. And I think that is going to be the new minimum. When that means it's going to be harder to snipe, it's going to be more flinch centric, and we're not going to have situations where Beloved you can basically 180 and dome someone with a Beloved without really trying. I think this is
Log, can you translate all of that to me?
But the snipers are going to be more zoomed in, so they're harder to use.
Sniping is hard again.
Yeah, that's hopefully.
That's
anyway.
Okay, wait.
What makes you think it fucking F? Why did you ask me? It's not going to affect me. I'm a shotgun ape. I'm just like, as long as I can just at fucking people, I'm happy.
Wait, so what you're saying is you think the scope is going to be a more zoomed scope?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a chance that maybe this exotic could be something close to what the new meta is, right?
But why would that impact other people like using zoomed in scopes?
Because right now they're like Bungie have acknowledged that low zoom scopes are like a little bit too frequently used in the Crucible, and they're making changes to weapon scopes in the future. So this is just like referencing a TWAB from like 3 months ago or something like that. So it's just that was me just being tinfoil hat crazy. I'm sure there's people in the chat.
So I mean, I guess what you're saying is if it is good, it will encourage people to use higher zoom scope. Well, I mean that is a high zoom scope. So
yeah,
you have to get good at it.
Yeah, I think sniping is going to become harder in Beyond Online. I feel like that is like all the noises that have come out from Bungie. Like all 3 of them have been leaning towards sniping becoming a little harder, which is good.
If you had to pocket one sniper rifle to take forward into this rejigged meta, and you had to have a guess at which one was going to be strong in the next meta, what would it be?
Like
of the current fleet.
Sunset?
Yeah, that's not being. Well, I mean, of anything, whatever. You can still use Sunset stuff in, quick play or whatever. But what do you think people should be looking to use now to get an eye in for where things are headed?
I think using Bite of the Fox is a good start. Using Eye of Soul, the trial sniper. Bite of the Fox is the Iron Banner sniper. Bite of the Fox is a 43 zoom aggressive. Eye of Soul is an adaptive kinetic 45 zoom. Using something like the Icolos SR is also 45 zoom, but because of the range stat being inherently tied to aim assist and the cones, hello Drewski fans, related wherein it's a very good feeling sniper because it has a long zoom and a short range. So use Icolos, use Bite Fox, use Eye of Soul. Use these snipers. Stay away from Revoker, stay away from Beloved. Stay away from Soul Survivor and all of the 40 zoom scopes.
Beautiful. There you go. There's
all I had was cones.
Cones.
That's all right. The next exotic we'll talk about. Yeah, just play trials.
Okay, please help me.
The Lament, and it leans. This thing, it looks like a fucking to take Mylan games straight back to Gears of War. It looks like a chain sword saw. Like it's got a moving. I know Matt loved Gears of War. He was so stoked with it. We just had such positive, happy conversations. It literally is. It looks like a fucking Monster Hunter thing. Yeah, but what it says it's a mortal blade. I assume that is just there for a Lord of the Rings reference. A stalwart shield. Block with the Lament and to rev the blade. I assume that means just get the teeth on it spinning. Then shred through shielded enemies. At its peak, damaging an enemy will heal the wielder. So the little snippet of this basically looks like it rips straight through a shielded enemy, kills them. So it's going to be a pretty heavy risk reward weapon, I think. If like the time you really want to be able to rapidly kill a shielded enemy is doing things like Grandmasters and stuff. So this is going to need to be pretty strong in terms of the healing it provides and how safe you are when you're blocking with it to rev it up for it to be worth doing that, because we're talking shielded enemies that'll fucking one-shot you in that context. So it'd be interesting to see how good it is.
I can't wait for you to get it out, and then all of a sudden it's Doom rip and tear plays, and you just cut a fucking Guardian immediately in half, and they just banana split.
Yeah, it'd be beautiful. We need more of that shit.
Why can't we have Doomslayer-esque ornaments?
I'd be for it. Oh, because then it'd basically just be Halo.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing. I've triggered 3 fan bases all at once. Whoops, moving on. Nice. Salvation. Salvation's Grip, a grenade launcher, exotic grenade launcher, stasis powered grenade launcher. This thing, just looking at it, it reminds me of tractor cannon for whatever reason. But each fired projectile will create stasis crystals that will freeze nearby targets, charge to increase the amount of crystals created and the freeze radius. So charge it up to get a bigger area. Like it?
I don't like anything about this because they could have named it something other than my Friday night.
What's it called again?
Salvation's Grip. Yes, you can come back. Dick jokes. Beautiful.
Salvation's
Grip. Yes. I thought you were serious there for a moment.
I just feel personally attacked by this weapon. Like, my Salvation's Grip is not icy. Okay, it's very warm.
It's warm.
It's a cold embrace with your dead hands.
Yeah. Like, that's cold, man. That's just rude.
No. You got the wrong technique, mate. Salvation's Grip is when you sit on your hand and it gets really numb.
That's a stranger. Never mind. That's the no time to explain method. These are all dick jokes. No time to explain. The stranger's rifle. Cloud strike.
The lament is for afterwards.
All right, we're moving on. I'm desperately. All right, now let's see what euphemisms we can tie into the exotic armor that we've got to look at. The Iceform Mantle. This one's probably the most interesting to me because I'm a Titan ape. Stand tall against oncoming hordes with reinforced armor that replaces the Titan's barricade with an overshield, absorbing damage from incoming fire. It remains to be seen how.
That's not a very good dick joke.
It's not a good dick joke at all. It's basically it's a condom, more or less. You can go in protected. So there you go.
You're just forcing it. Log, come on out.
Oh no, I'm gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it die a natural death.
So wait, what does it do?
It consumes your shield wall and makes it an overshield.
An overshield.
So you can run around with it.
Wait, what's the cooldown on it?
I mean, it'll be tied to your shield wall
ability.
So if you can up that stat, I don't know, man. It remains to be seen how powerful it is. These things always look fucking broken as fuck in trailers, but I can't see it giving you an overshield that's as powerful as your fucking shield wall. That's for sure, because you'll be absolutely destroying people.
Well, it would just be a normal overshield, right?
Yeah, like
I mean, maybe
it would just be an overshield.
Yeah,
I reckon it's going to be like maybe a 40, 50 point buff to your overall kind of thing. So that'd be my guess anyway.
My early prediction is that this is going to be a clutch exotic for trials.
Yeah, I mean the other Titan one kind of looks a little bit that way as well, with the healing thing. True. But this is, I mean, if you know someone's around the corner and they've got a shotgun out and you've got a shotgun out, well, you're going to just activate this and go in giving yourself every advantage. And I think
and also if you're like almost dead, you're just going to activate it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean you'd need to think.
And then you help regen. That's
a problem for me, but still, agree. Moving on to the next one, as we were just talking about, Precious Scars is it's a fucking weird looking helmet. It looks like it's someone dropped a pot or some kind of, your nan's kettle or something, and then fucking glued it back together in the vague shape of a helmet. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but that's definitely the vibe it's giving off. I don't really give a shit as long as it does its job. It can't be worse than Eternal Warrior. Yep.
Lore man, there's symbols on the thing. Do the thing with the lore.
Okay, hold on.
For those of you listening to this podcast, Matt's held up fingers to his eyes in the classic lore goggles position. He's assessing it. There we go. What do you know, lore man?
I'm trying to bring up a picture so I can look at it, but I don't have it in front of me right now. So correct.
They look more 4G to me than anything else. They kind of remind me of the Foundry logos. more than
Do
anything.
I have to watch the trailer to find it, or can I see a screenshot of it somewhere?
There's a
Here,
closed
I'll
up,
put it in the
zoomed in
chat.
picture on the Bungie website. That's what we're reading. this
Bungie
shit from.
website.
You can
Bungie
check it in the
website.
Discord, I put it there.
Bungie website. Oh, no, I don't have it, mate. We'll have to come back.
All right, Matt, you do that, and we'll circle back. The Teapot Exotic. But what it does, it's upon revives, the Titan gains an overshield aura that protects the wearer and nearby allies. So you go and you get a res. The person you res gets a buff, you get a buff, and anyone around that's on your team gets a buff. So there seems to be like a tether of light sort of effect, so you know whether you're in it or not. I feel like this could be particularly strong in an elimination game mode like Trials as well. So very interesting. It depends how powerful they are. Much the same as the last one, and it could be fucking broken. It could be, could be lackluster.
So I feel like it's one of those situational things. I feel like this would be a great raid exotic actually, because the way it was demonstrated in the trailer was that they revived someone and then there was a fire team of 3 in close proximity to each other, and you could clearly see like a tether next to each other one. So it definitely seems to me like this is something for end game content. I don't know if the buff, the aura would stack. It makes sense it would stack with more people nearby, because it would be something that siphons light from the other players. I don't know, Mr. Loreman, you probably have some insight on that. But yeah, no, it feels PvE to me.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that. I mean, maybe it's one of those things where it's very situational in PvE. It's not something where I can see you deliberately trying to proc it, right? In a raid, someone's going to die for it to kick. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'm sure people will come up with pretty inventive ways to use it, though. That's for sure. That's the Destiny community in a nutshell, right?
I see what you mean about the paper mache helmet. I see what you mean. It's got symbols on it. Fuck, who knows? Yeah, I reckon it looks more 4G than anything else. Or it looks like the wish symbols. The walls of wishes, mate.
Yeah, hey, actually,
some of them
the
are
ones
like
at the top definitely do.
I'm getting hints of Braytech as well.
And a bit of Fallen in there too. There's some Fallen symbology there as well.
Shout out to Tom for becoming so synonymous with Braytech. I was momentarily confused about hints of Braytech, and I'm like, Tom, what?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tom doesn't play Titan, does he? Anyway, great website. Go and check it out, kids. Let's move on. Mask of Backrest, or Backrest, or I don't know, whatever. I'm Australian. I'm allowed to butcher fucking words. Don the mask to replace your hunter's dodge ability with a long-range shift ability that also temporarily cloaks the wearer during use. Like fucking... Oh, man. Like, so I'm just going to complain about this because I'm a Titan, as is tradition. Why are hunters already like fucking invulnerable in dodge, and now they get an invisible dodge?
Oh, I need a drink for this. Hang on.
Perfect. You can come back.
It looks fucking insane in the trailer because there's a bit where there's like a hammer titan and he throws down his hammer, and right as it's in the air, the hunter blinks or vanishes and then skips forward and then hits him with the old uppercut with the sword. So I think it's great if you're a hunter. It just scares me that it's going to be one of those things that just gets fucking spammed like constantly forever. What sort of scotch is that? What is it? There's a few connoisseurs
Dilly's
in there.
Rye whiskey. It is distilled Ontario whiskey, 3 Oaks.
Beautiful.
And it says here, use in case of emergency or when scrubs on the internet talk shit about hunters.
Well, now is that time. Crack it. You got to drop the whole thing, or
hold on. What class do you play as, Nomad?
I'm a hunter main. Second is my warlock, and third is my titan.
Okay, I'm trying to work out what side you're on. So were you drinking because Log complained about how strong hunters are, or are you drinking because you think this is too strong?
Considering we don't know if, we haven't played the game, we don't know if it's going to be strong. I'm just in camp drink when people bash hunters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, look, I feel like, what are you complaining about? Like, you get a fucking overshoot whenever you fucking want, cunt. Let us have an invis dodge.
Have you forgotten that from seasons 4 to 7, you had one-eyed mask that terrorized the Crucible?
I never wore it.
Nobody did anything the fuck about it.
I didn't wear
I
it.
know. I feel like everyone just jumps on hunters because I know that they're more skilled players. Do you know what I mean?
We needed this.
Well, they don't jump- they don't
This
jump on
feels
hunters
like a
because they can't
watershed moment because this podcast used to be literally three titans just ragging on everything, and now I feel like the last bastion of I don't know stupidity, perhaps. I don't know. Do you think it'll be? Sorry, go.
I was gonna say I haven't drunk this in like 3 months. I was doing so well, and now
Yeah, I mean,
it's all gone to shit.
It's kind of like
Okay.
osmosis of character. I'll just make people around me drink for no reason whatsoever.
Hold on, one question. I assume, not that everyone knows, but it's fun to talk about. I'm assuming you're going to be able to blink through people, right?
Yeah, probably.
It's going to be
You
fucking
know-
awful. Okay, I can see this being like the shotgun spam fucking thing, right? Like if you time it right, bang, you're straight up in someone's grill with a shotgun and you're not even exposed
Sure.
for like 3 meters of it. So
Oh, that's a
No,
good idea.
the
I
only
was thinking of like blinking through them and then 180 no scope. You know what I mean?
Now, the only thing I'll say to this is that it is an exotic, and it is like you're sacrificing other parts, other useful hunter exotics, Wormhusk Crown, Stompies, Gemini Justice. You're making a conscious decision to do this, whereas Warlocks can just blink whenever the mood strikes them, right?
yeah, fuck warlocks,
True.
man.
Finally, something we can all agree
Look,
on.
well, let's all agree on that. Fuck warlocks.
Fucking dickheads.
Oh, admittedly, and I've had people sending me screenshots because I've been playing on my hunter and my warlock, sort of leveling them up so that I could do GMs on them. I don't hate. I'm probably better on a warlock than I am on a titan. Because I'm not charging in all the time. It's embarrassing, but it's true. I'll admit that here and now, and you can all just shun me. Arthritis's embrace.
Oh my god, I saw Dado's video on this, and just every single comment was on how to pronounce this fucking name.
How do you
If you want to bump
pronounce
your
it?
comments up, I know this. If you want to make a video get more views and increase your engagement, just say a really obvious word, not even obvious word, just say a word completely fucking wrong, and then you'll have about 200-300 more comments of people just telling you the origin story of this mythical fucking god.
yes.
And if they ever picked up an encyclopedia, you would know then how to pronounce this. Anyway.
I mean,
All right.
Mylan's your own fault. The internet exists. Like what did you expect?
What did you expect but to be wrong? All right, so Arthris, is that how we're pronouncing it? Is that how the internet?
Arthris.
Wait, there's an
Arthris.
extra R in here. Wait, it did.
Arthris.
It's spelled differently somewhere. I think there's no R after the A in another video. It was just
Athris?
yeah, it was Athris, wasn't it?
Oh wow! So someone's just hung
Hold on a
poor
second.
Dado out to dry.
Keep going. Fucking keep going.
Is that Lauren sparing her?
Arthris's embrace.
Right, so the Hunter's Wanted Knife gains a second. What did I turn into Sean Connery momentarily? That was fucking second ricochet.
The Hunter's Wicked Knife gains a second ricochet, rapid precision hit, and a damage bonus.
So I don't know. Who cares? It's just that you get an extra bounce on your fucking knife, unless it adds like more aggressive tracking. Is that a? I don't know. It could be annoying, I suppose. Are you excited about this?
You would need
Hunters?
the extra tracking.
Oh my
Yeah, I don't
god,
know.
there is a
That's
spelling
true.
mistake.
Wow.
Which is okay. If you go, can you bring it up on screen? If you go to Destiny 2 Beyond Light Weapons and Gear trailer, it is spelled ATHRYS,
Wow.
comma S. There's
That
not a
you've
second
heard.
R in there. And Dado was pronouncing the second R, and every fucking comment was like, oh, why are you putting an R in there?
Well, I mean,
good.
Dado's right again, or is he right? I mean, he's just who knows. I'm not going to load that up because I make lots of spelling mistakes. I'm not going to judge people too harshly. Anyone who's been on my Twitter for more than about 13 seconds has definitely seen a typo or two. So there's that. Don't rage tweet, kids. Moving on. The Dawn Chorus Warlock helmet.
I'm making a rage tweet right now. I just screenshot that shit.
Yeah, formal complaint. Game's broken. Literally unplayable.
It's really unplayable, yeah.
All right, the Dawn Chorus Warlock helmet. It's gonna make your head look pretty funny. I'm not even gonna get into the perks, but it's got like 2 big bulbs. You look like a fucking praying mantis or some shit.
It's kind of
it's weird. Or Sid the Sloth from Ice Age, maybe, or I don't know. Your eyes are way too far apart. I think Aztec Ross said that.
True.
I stole it from his video and peddle it out here for laughs. But the description says, Feel that sweet burn. The Warlock's Daybreak projectiles deal extra damage and cause the enemies to burn on contact. Gain melee energy each time a burn damages a target. You're going to end up with a lot of fucking melee energy, is what I'm reading from that.
I'm going to call this the Sid.
You guys just keep going. I'm still angry tweeting.
the Sid after the sloth from Ice Age.
Yeah, Sid the Sloth. I mean, there's probably a less. You couldn't get a less thematically appropriate fucking fire fucking exotic for an Ice Age sloth, but whatever. We're gonna allow it.
It's fine.
I don't know. I mean, I saw a lot of people bitching that the Warlock exotics don't really change up their abilities all that much, but at the same time,
abilities are just so strong.
they're fucking
To begin
air
with.
dodge and stuff. Like, you don't need it. You just don't.
Like this,
Just burn
this
shit.
makes their Daybreak like mini H bombs.
Yeah,
You
it's
see
gonna
the trailer?
be.
It's just like one thing in the general vicinity of an enemy, and it's done. It's gone.
The next one is pretty nuts too. I think it's the Necrotic Grip.
Yeah.
Melee attacks corrupt enemies with increasing damage over time. Defeating a corrupted combatant spreads the corruption to nearby targets and restores melee energy. So for me, this is a lot like Middle Tree Void Titan, where you can sort of punch things and it sets off the chain reaction. I feel like this is going to be more the same thing, except that doesn't do damage over time. This does. I think this could end up being like supreme ad control, right? Like it'll be unreal.
It's super self-sufficient as well, because melee attacks corrupt enemies, and defeating a corrupted combatant restores melee energy. So you could literally just chain this
It
endlessly.
feeds itself. It feeds itself.
It's
Pump into
basically
that
Thorn,
strength stat.
the Thorn arms, basically.
Yeah. All right. What we might do.
I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there.
That's all right. Matt's tweeting about fucking typos for half a podcast. It's fine. We're gonna let you loose on lore in a sec, Matt. So I hope you're ready. You can pull up your fucking Word document now.
ready.
Yeah. The one real big takeaway from the TWAB this week, though, was the way they're changing up. I mean, the new light experience, which is not really something that we all need to worry about, given we've been rusted onto this franchise for 5 years, but it's cool. Shaw Han is going to be the sort of guide through the initial new light experience. I hope there's a way that as an established Guardian, we can go in and experience that just for the nostalgia trip. I think it'll be cool. A lot of people out there theorizing that it's Uldren in a mask, but literally everyone whose opinion I respect in the lore community thinks that that's bullshit. So we're going to call bullshit on it right now. Maybe it is. Who cares? The mod modifications was the big talking point coming out of this, aside from Uldren not being under a helmet. In that the armaments mods are going away. The enhanced mods are becoming the normal mods. And that's where we are. I think it's... Personally, think it's a good change. I've seen a bit of back and forth about it. Obviously, the armaments mods are fucking incredibly strong, but reading Fermi's tweet, his opinion was that it's going to level the playing field for the raid race, and in my opinion, that's a good thing. Yep. So, what do you guys? You got any quick hot takes on it?
Didn't hear what you said, but I am interested in knowing whether you're a raid racer despite your PvP stuff. Do you get heavy into the raid races? Nomad?
I like watching them. I don't think I have historically shite RNG, so I always like mentally rule myself out for raid races. But I'm
right, to level up
races,
together.
Yeah, exactly. To raid races, I feel like I would be pretty good in a raid race, but I never put in the time. Like I don't put in like 36 hours before the actual event, like most people do. I just play when I can because real life job, all that. I love watching it though, and I think it'll be an interesting one. I'm just concerned about the cheating for raid races and how that would affect things. Going back to the mods though, it's really good that they're doing away with unflinching, because they're right. Because if you didn't have unflinching, those mods did basically next to nothing. It was a very
Yeah.
marginal increase in whatever you put it on, loader, targeting, unflinching aim. It was barely, like, you needed 2 of them, at which point you may as well have an unflinching, and then you may as well spec for 2 unflinching, which then was in a case of diminishing returns. It was just a weirdly implemented mechanic, and I'm glad they're streamlining it, especially if, from what I understand of the TWAB, is that they're really doubling down on charge with light. Exotics are going to get charge with light slots. New raid armors can have an additional mod slot, so you can do charge with light and a mod slot. It's going to be insane.
A mod specific to that, right?
Setting the stage up very well for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's timely in that, like, you know, we're looking down the barrel of, you know, a clearly changing armor system again with transmog and all that sort of stuff. And I feel like there was a lot of like these half measure mods that they could just fuck off, because they're not really, like, once you get the enhanced mods, there is no reason to run the others unless you kind of are forced into it by maybe speccing for a Grandmaster and having different types of mods, sort of push that out of the way. But for PvEP, there was no reason to not have the enhanced ones on, you know. So I think it's good. I think it streamlines it a lot, and I think you know, like it'll make scrolling through that section a hell of a lot easier too. You know, you'll be able to quickly find what you want to do, and, you know, less fucking around in your inventory is always a winner with me. But yeah, so I don't know. I think they're good changes, and like, while I understand that some people are a little bit disappointed, I think that it's kind of they're the eggs that we need to crack coming into a new season to really get the most out of it. So it is what it is. Matthew, do you want to talk about the web law?
Oh, law, you say? Why have I been so quiet? I've definitely been listening. Definitely not opening up a Word document about the latest law video. Okay. Look, I like to quiz you because I think it's more interactive. But then every time I go to quiz you, I think about that comment on YouTube that's like, why is Matt always quizzing Log about law?
I think people, there was someone that was actually like, why is he doing this? It's like he's bullying him. And I'm like, as like, to be fair, I don't feel bullied, so it's okay. And even if he was bullying me, it'd still be okay. So, like, yes.
Well, I just think if I don't bully you, if I don't ask you questions like this, it's just me talking about law by myself.
You're keeping me engaged. I go into potato mode pretty quick, and my eyes glaze over. And you're talking about all right. So go.
But you know, Nomad is getting into the law. He's reading the law. So this is to quiz you as well. All right, you guys have both played the interference mission.
Yes.
Right, and you get into the room with the statues after beating Necrotic.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, my next video is discussing the symbology of that. And why there are no Vex. What are your opinions as a player that maybe hasn't, you know, curated 3 volumes of lore?
There weren't Vex? Hang on.
You fucking grub.
Cabal.
No, there was no Vex. Human and the Hive. Yeah.
Fallen, Hive, Cabal, and Human, right? Okay, well, so I'm already ahead of a Nomad, so that's fine. Log.
So the question you're asking is why weren't the Vex there? Is that what you want to know?
Oh, well, actually, not even why weren't the Vex here. What was the whole point of that scene? That's obviously very intentional. Why did we see that? What was the point of it?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of looked like all of the races were converging on the pyramid, as if it was like you could sub out the pyramid and replace it with a traveler, and it'd be the same thing. It was like people being like the different races being drawn together by a power. That's what I took out of it anyway.
So the Vex, to my understanding, cannot simulate light. They cannot really simulate darkness. Every single one of those races were in some way captivated by the light, or captivated the light with the Cabal stealing the light. The Vex have not interfered with the light in any manifestation as we know it.
Yeah. So Nomad's basically on it. That's sort of what I hadn't actually seen many people talk about that. I saw a bunch of different theories about it. And the darkness actually, no, in the context of everything, it works really well together. and I wanted to sort of talk about this too, right? Because if you hadn't read the lore, you don't really understand what Nokris and Savathun are doing, right? You sort of have to read the quest tab, and you have to read the lore books to know that Nokris has been recruited by Savathun and is trying to run interference, basically, between you and the message from the darkness. So my opinion is that fighting Nokris is not about defeating Nokris. And once again, we can talk about that, but I don't think he's dead. There's way too many variables to understand if Nokris is dead or not. And we can go into that as well. But I think the sole reason to put Nokris in there is that it gave Bungie an opportunity for Eris Morn to literally voice line, Nokris is running interference between you and the darkness, right? And then what happens? You kill Nokris and you're teleported to literally a room where the darkness speaks with you. So it's meant to showcase that to the player that hasn't read the lore. Hey, Nokris was working with Savathun. They've been trying to interfere, us connecting with the darkness. Boom, we killed Nokris for the moment, transported into a room with a pyramid ship. Pyramids in the center. And you've got 4 races around the outside. The thing that it says is, in light, there is only weakness, only failure, only death. No longer will you be a pawn. No longer will you watch the lives of those you care about lost. Remember, in the darkness, there's only strength. So if you look at all the reasons why they're around, we know the Hive, the Books of Sorrow, the Fundament, the Traveler tried to use the God Wave against them. The Leviathans tried to stop them from escaping. So in the Hive story, darkness was their salvation. If you look at the Fallen, they had their own golden age. They were aligned with the Traveler. They then had a whirlwind. They have now fallen. Now they're still trying to get the light back. The light has done nothing for them. They've also failed. You look at the Cabal. You had Gaul, who was destroyed by the Traveler when it woke back up. And you also have Callus looking at the end of the world. So once again, you say, oh, well, they're there because the light failed them too. And then you have humanity and Guardians. And you could also argue that the Traveler hasn't even though it's meant to be woke, even though it's meant to be awakened, it hasn't done anything else for us since then. So this is the pyramid ship taking a soapbox and trying to recruit not just us, but everyone else. And the really cool thing about this, did you see that lighting? Did you see the lighting in the room and what it did? There's so much symbology in this one room.
I did not see the exact lighting.
Oh, okay. This is the really cool thing. Guess the way they have the lighting set up, it casts a shadow over one of the races. Guess which race it casts over the Fallen. There's a giant, the shadow from the pyramid ship points directly over the Fallen to represent that they are next in line with Eramis to take on the darkness.
Yeah.
Right. So you take on Nokris, you disable the communication link, you get pushed through into this room. The darkness says, essentially, we're your salvation, and it's appealing to all your enemies. You get teleported out. Eris Morn then says that to you too. And she's like, it's communicating with everyone. You then go read the lore book, Contact, and it says the same thing, that all of our enemies are trying to be recruited to wield the darkness too, so we better do the same thing. So you actually have a nice synergy of a whole bunch of different ways of telling the lore, hoping to get people there to sort of understand what's going on at the end of Season of Arrivals. And I thought it was really clever. It's good.
I think it's great. It was a, I don't know, I didn't expect that. And I don't think anyone did, like Nokris, that was fine. I kind of, that was the logical conclusion of that story arc, really, that we were going to get in. And it was, being on the, what's it called? Widow's Court again, in that sort of a version of that arena was cool. Court of Oryx, that's it. Widow's Court, fucking hell. But then, like to see that at the end, very cool. I think it's, they're doing a really good job of telling stories physically as well as in the lore. You know, I think that's to
But
double down on your point, Matt.
The thing is, though, I wonder, like, it took a fair bit of me, like, just sort of rewatching that scene to pick up on a lot of those clues. And I think it's cool that it's like that. But I hadn't seen a huge amount of people talk about it. And I feel like sometimes Destiny players are in a very much routine of just like slamming through areas. And it's not like a...
You think?
You think? You know, I feel like if you look at something like Halo, I think people like stop at sections of Halo and they're in this sort of flow of like, okay, there's going to be some story here. Like we're going to slow walk, get some dialogue, take in the scene.
Terminals
right?
as well.
And you do that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's there in Destiny now, and everyone just fucking runs past it.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the content loop. It's because in Halo, you kind of play through the campaign under the assumption that you're not going to be back in the space that you were just in. Where the opposite is true of Destiny, where, you know, especially when you look at the interference quest over the last fucking 12 weeks or however long it's been going now, it's been more or less variants on the same action every week. So people are just like, fuck this, I'll be here next week again by instinct, even when maybe they won't. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
Most people do it for the pinnacle loot. They're not really interested. Like the incentive is wrong for storytelling in Destiny. Yeah. Storytelling in Destiny has not been about the story. It's been about the activities, and there's sort of a story with it. It's like you don't do the raids to find out like all this shit about Oryx and his Ascendant Plane and how he's built that through sword logic. You do it because you want the fucking gun.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much all of Destiny. That's all of Destiny, and they have lost a lot of opportunity. Like they've basically left the opportunity on the table to make unique levels, make you better like level design. Like 0 Hour was one of the best things I've ever done. And it really reminds you of classic Halo because every single area was different. Every single area required different challenges. And it felt very, very classic. Like it was platforming, there was hordes, there was a bit of teamwork, Destiny stuff related. But like normal, like you play the Forsaken campaign, it's like, okay, run forward, and there's a bit of dialogue while you're running. Clear the room, bit of dialogue, clear the room, protect the ghost, dialogue, clear the room, ghost.
Dialogue.
Dialogue.
It's not.
Yeah. The ghost summary at the end of like, if you weren't paying attention, here's kind of what just happened in 3 sentences or less, and then back to orbit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just such a wasted opportunity. And like I've had long discussions with my very close friend. We played Halo together, and seeing it go from that to this is a bit insulting almost.
Man, I don't know. Like, I don't know if you know this, but I only played Halo for the first time, like, sort of recently. Like,
I saw that.
Yeah, and it's obviously been a really big eye opener for me to go backwards, so to speak, and to see how Bungie approached storytelling in Halo compared to how Bungie approaches storytelling in Destiny. There's obviously strengths with the lore books and those kind of things, but the in-game dramatic flair that Halo had with whatever that magic is, it's really fucking hard to define. I've been trying to, the way the characters are and how they talk and the voice actors and how they feel, and you know, I don't think you can replicate that with Destiny because of the kind of game Destiny is, but I would just love to get a little bit closer to that for at least the big expansions, for these September November expansions. I would love for those campaign missions to be closer. But I mean, that's all Halo was doing, though. It was that and multiplayer. Yeah. Whereas Destiny has raids, dungeons, strikes, all that other shit to go with it. Loot.
And like the raids themselves raids themselves are prime for that Halo type storytelling. Literally different areas, different objectives, different ways to unlock the different mechanics. Forsaken's campaign, where you had to hunt down the different barons, that was a really good campaign because every single level was different. Every single encounter was varied. There was different mechanics. There were different things you had to consider. It made you play the game differently. Like I had to change a loadout multiple times during Forsaken. In Shadowkeep, I literally ran the same thing from start to finish.
Yeah, I think it's a big sticking point in that respect. because that in turn diminishes the challenge feel of it, right? Like you don't feel like you're adapting and overcoming anything. You just feel like you're blowing through it. And I don't know. I'm very much hoping that we're getting a more Forsaken than Shadowkeep.
Yeah, I hope
drop this time around.
I understand that we're in a shared world. It's a shared world looter shooter, but you can't make a world and then have a story be a side piece. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't make people care. Like a world is just a world. If I just wanted to explore a world, I'd play Anthem.
What, mate?
Oh.
Too far, dude.
Come on, too far. You fucking madman! Quick, dump the podcast.
Okay.
I was wrong. You were gonna get cancelled first.
Get him on. My dream or recommendation is I don't think with a live service model like that, Destiny obviously cannot deliver those kind of stories every quarter, right?
No, they can't, and they shouldn't.
I would love for it for a storyline to be started and finished in a year, right? So wherever you enter, if you enter in Beyond Light, of course, if you know all the backstory, you're going to get more from it. But you can play that game from start to finish, and you get a nice cohesive story, some nice cutscenes, some nice voice acting, a cool campaign, and then it's either the end or the beginning, depending on when you start. It's either the finale for the year that's gone, or it's kicking off the next year, and then you've got 3 DLCs that expand on that story. So and then it gets resolved, because at the moment we've got like fucking tons of shit that's just out there. Goes to the Dreaming City is still unresolved. This is like.
Yeah, I mean, do curses expire after of old age, or like it's just going to go on forever?
I have a pretty harsh comparison that I like to throw to my more film oriented mum, who she's a screenwriter, so she's still learning the world of video games. So I have to figure out ways to relate my world to her, and I say Halo could easily be a HBO series.
Oh yeah.
Destiny might, like, they would shop around at AMC, but probably end up on CW.
Here's the thing, right? An adaptation. I think you'd have more flexibility. You'd have more flexibility with Destiny, because you don't really have to fucking follow anything, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, do what you want. Yeah.
I mean, that's really, like, I hate saying what I just said, because I love this game and I love the story and I love the lore and all that, but you cannot put everything.
It's fucking true,
sorry,
man.
Marlon, you cannot put everything in a book and call it storytelling when the main point of the whole thing is the game itself.
All right, what we might do now, we might wrap this conversation up in a sec, but I'll open the chat. So if you've got any questions or things you want us to discuss, go for it. But I think you're back on, man.
I would love if somebody could put out their juicy PvP takes so I can shoot them down for it. I have lots of whiskey left. Let's do it.
Okay, do it. Give us your PvP shit takes, and Nomad will tell you why you're wrong.
Yep, you get that. I can totally see Destiny on CW. I can. And
I don't know what's CW. I don't get the joke.
Supergirl.
It's like Arrow and shit like that. Like where it's like I'll watch it, but I don't watch it like because I'm super compelled by it. It's because
it's like the B team on fucking Marvel.
It ticks the bare minimum of fucking boxes of like, okay, these are all the ingredients of something I'm interested in. I'm gonna put it on the TV and probably fuck around on my phone anyway. Like
G1 have better CGI artists than the CW do.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot going on there.
Like the people who do 3D models for Destiny could probably make better visuals than people on the CW shows, because they don't have the budget and they're hiring somebody inexperienced.
It's a low budget TV network, right? Okay, I get it. I get the jokes.
But they do like superhero stuff, like high concept sci-fi, and it doesn't always work because it's so badly written.
But is it so bad it's good, like
no.
Doctor Who?
No,
it's just bad.
No, okay.
No, like sometimes
Doctor
it's
Who's good for CW.
There's been seasons of it that were I mean, the first season of Arrow was pretty good, but it's more based in reality. The first season of Flash was pretty good. It probably I imagine soaked up the entire special effects budget for several years because it was pretty intense. But there are times when it just literally falls on its ass to the point where I've actually turned to rage and said, "Why are we watching this shit? This is so fucking bad." And I've not gone back. I've not seen seasons of Flash now. I've just abandoned it because I can't be fucked. So I think in a way it's a fair indictment on Destiny, but it's probably not inaccurate. It could be tightened up a lot.
All right, have you seen any questions that you wanna take on?
There's one from Nick.
Okay.
There's one from Nick.
Nick
M.
Destiny would be better off without PvP. I've seen this floated around a lot, and I'm not sure I agree with that one. I mean, yes, I understand why, because they seem to be very like haphazardly updating PvP, quote unquote updating AE once a year. But like, look at the current meta. You take auto rifles away, the meta right now is kind of good. Like, they have kind of like done a good job on balancing this year compared to all the other years. If they put in ranked, then they put some more competitive game modes in, I think it'd be fine. People are still playing.
I mean, I think you got people like Log out there, right? Like, I think PvP.
Where's this going?
Well, no, where this is going is you're a shit player, right? But PvP keeps you playing Destiny. Like, let me ask you this question, Log: Would you still be playing Destiny if it was just PvE between season releases?
Probably not.
Especially with the bounty goblining that we've been getting.
Yeah, I can't see it.
I don't think. Okay, depending on the tier of PvE content, right? Obviously, like dungeons and raids are really great PvE content. For me, once I've got the gear to get there, I actually don't really care about getting that gear. Like, I think you need PvP. Doesn't matter that it's not balanced.
I think that really that was Nick's personal question, though. It was a question for himself, because Nick's one of my trials fire team. So he's like, it was more of a self-affirmation. Destiny would be better off without PvP. For him, because I drag him down constantly. All
right,
64-bit grenade.
Someone else pick something. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go for it. Sorry, did I misunderstand what you said? What?
No, yeah, you pick something because I picked the last one.
Okay, 64-bit grenade mountaintop is fine.
Here's my reaction to that.
Yeah, no one needs that. Just drink. That's it. There's actually a few double primary questions. Double primary was the best Destiny PvP has ever seen. Should we go back to double primaries for PvP?
Yeah, I think so. That could be interesting because I think the one-shot special meta is really boring. Beloved, Fellwinter, shotguns, snipers. Like, it's not, especially with the amount of bullet magnetism baked into the game, with the generosity of certain weapons, cones, and just like the cones, the amount of success you can find by just holding W and occasionally pressing A and D or moving left or right on the stick is kind of insane. So go back to double primaries, but keep the time to kill, because the thing that killed D2 year one was the time to kill, not the double primaries.
It was just too long, right?
I've got a question for Nomad.
Yep.
How many hours would it take for you to carry me to trials?
How many hours do you? Okay, let's dive into this, shall we? How many hours have you put into Destiny PvP in the last 3 months?
Oh, it's not about me, mate. It's about you. Okay, don't fucking flip the question.
That was a good guess.
When Beyond Light releases, I'll probably be playing it 3 to 4 hours, 6 times a week on stream.
Okay. That's pretty good.
But not necessarily PvP. Like that, a lot of that will be PvE.
Yeah. So I would just make sure that if you really want to be serious about this, one of the best ways you can improve your aim is to
Play the game.
Yes, but like also don't hit body shots in PvE. Only hit crits.
Go for the crit.
Yep. No matter what.
Every time.
Yep.
Never aim bod.
Nope.
No. Banned.
Okay.
I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna start doing that.
It'll force you.
It'll force you to become more fine-tuned with your aim and make you start using things like cover and watching your position and stuff.
Can I ask you this question? Because I should have done this. Have you played Doom Eternal?
Briefly.
Honestly, I think that was one of the few games, because of how quickly you can restart levels and do it on Legendary, I could see an improvement in my mouse skills because there was no risk and it was constant, like, quick firing. And I was like, holy shit. I actually, after playing a whole bunch of hours of that, I was like, I actually think I'm getting it better at mouse. And then now I've gone to fucking Genshin Impact Waifu Simulator and the fucking, I can't even hold a mouse correctly anymore.
Yeah. So less waifu and more PvE.
Yeah.
Is my advice.
Yeah, that's
I'm
good
turning
advice.
that into a video.
Less waifu.
Less waifu.
Yeah, write that down.
Less
Write it down.
waifu, more PvE. Got it. Okay, cool. 12-minute video with mid-roll, pre-roll, and post-roll. Excellent.
I'll tell you what, mate. Those fucking waifu videos, they'll get you a lot of Google ads. A lot of Google ad space.
You fucking cursed me with that. I was telling you about that on Wednesday night, right? Like me being the good friend I am, I'll watch Maddie's video even though I don't want to know anything about fucking Genshin Impact or whatever it's called.
Okay. If you sorry, just to go back to it real quick, if you really want like a foolproof like thing to get better at, I host a workshop every Sunday Eastern called Sunday School. It's a religious experience. And you should come, get your ass kicked, and I'll tell you exactly why you're getting your ass kicked.
That just sounds fun. What time?
Yeah. It is at 5 p.m. Eastern, which is roughly 9 a.m. your time?
That'll be a bit earlier, I think. It used to be 12 hours difference, but now maybe it's 13 or something. It'll be like 6 a.m. or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we can make it later, so you.
This is good. You know what we should do? We should make a challenge out of this between now and Beyond Light. If Matt goes to Nomad Sunday School, will he be able to beat me?
Oh man.
I mean, yes, you can do that now, but like.
No, he can't. Mainly because he doesn't play. And
I see. I need competition. All right, fucking let's do it.
Yeah, I know. This is where we flourish under stupid shit like this. Because now I'm gonna go off and find fucking other things to. I don't know.
Tell me, what do I do at Sunday School? You're not gonna. No, I was gonna make a bad joke then. What do I do at Sunday School?
I'm out. I did not sign up for that.
Hey, I don't know what you guys are thinking yet.
So Sunday School, basically, it's 3v3 scrims. We pick the teams. You'll always be on my team. We'll have a teammate, and we basically go at each other over a series of 3 games. And I diagnose things like communication. I diagnose positioning. I diagnose teamwork, gun skill, anything that's wrong with your game. I will see it. I will prescribe you a couple of drills or a training routine, and you will do it. You will come back the next week, and you will be better. And yes, this is me being Crucible Doctor.
I feel like you haven't met someone like me, and you'll be like, "Sorry, sir, there's nothing I can do for you."
Sorry, it's terminal.
Sorry, sir, you've got your terminal.
Terminally shit. No, but if I can do it, you can do it.
14 days to live.
You're gonna die. You're gonna die of embarrassment.
I'm gonna work out what time it is. What time do you say you're Eastern Standard? I'll do the conversion.
5 p.m. Eastern or 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Sorry.
Okay.
This is good. We've needed a challenge for a while. That and it makes Matt have to play Destiny, so I'm doing everyone a favor. There we go. He hasn't realised that yet. All right, let's get back to a few questions. 5:30
a.m. Yeah, good one.
First thing in the morning.
We'll make a special.
normally I get up at 5 a.m. and I start streaming at 6, but Sunday is my only day I do sleep in. So maybe.
Well, that would be a Monday for you.
No. If it's Sunday night for you, it'll be. Oh wait, yeah,
It'd be a Monday for you.
Oh, great! I'll be streaming.
Perfect. There you go.
Oh shit! What have I done?
Match made in heaven. Now he has to do it now. You see, now,
what have I
it's
done?
not just a meme and content for the podcast. He actually has to do it.
Right, yeah, that's good. That's good. Here we go. Terminally shit at PvP. No, I reckon Matt's going to get cured. Yep. I can see it happening now. What else have we got here? There was an interesting one from before from Muted Lion. Could you see Destiny adopting more MMO mechanics like toggling on PvP in the open world, darkness embracing Guardians versus Light Guardians? I'd love it, but I don't think that we're going to get there. I think mechanically Destiny could borrow a lot of things from more traditional MMO things, and I think already more so than just about any other shooter out there going, it already does. But I can't really. I love the idea of like combat, unstructured combat in an open like patrol zone. That for me, that just feels
like
super risky. But I can't see it ever being implemented in a way that makes fucking sense for the game. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's super interesting. That feels like EVE Online when they would just have these massive space battles like organized by like hundreds of thousands of people and people just show up and do it, and it lasts for like 2 years. Do you know there's one MMO, I don't know if it's an MMO mechanic, but there is one thing I'd like to see is that every gun in the wild, you know how they have random rolls and you spend your life finding these random rolls. I would like every single gun to have a fixed roll that is automatically enforced when you enter the Crucible.
Yeah, I think it'd help with balance.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see. And I know that doesn't really answer the question, but hey, that's my response.
With the question about different. I mean, what the question really is can Destiny be more like an actual MMO? Because that's more a function of an actual MMO, and Destiny is like MMO like in that regard. Yeah. And I'm sort of like Log. I don't see how a first-person shooter can take on more accurately those MMO faction fights and functions, because there's a lot of AoE and other damage things that needs to happen for them to be somewhat enjoyable. I can't imagine just like a team of Guardians on one side in a fortress and a team of Guardians pew pew pew. Everyone's like, cool. That was good.
That and like when you're in PvP and you get hit by 4 people at once, in what would be. If you take that out into the open world, it's basically just being ganked. And the last thing I think Destiny needs in its play space is people being ganked by people like literally waiting for you to do an activity and then fucking you over to take your reward.
Yeah, just imagine some blueberry just walking along, and then you got like just all these these guardians waiting in a team, just coordinated supers, tether, fucking hammers, and then we think he's dead, and it's just dead.
Not even that, just a bang that would sniper shot from a distance. Never saw it coming. Come and pick your shit up.
Can you imagine the compilations on YouTube?
Yeah, ganking compilations. Oof.
Ganking compilations.
Do you know what we do need? This is what we need. Because it's been so long and no one's done it yet, and I think Destiny would be a great universe for it. We need like the Left 4 Dead formula, okay? You make playable Fallen, and you make team of Guardians, you give them an objective, and the enemies have to stop them, and you have, Thrall and everything spawn with them, and it's like Left 4 Dead. Make it Left 4 Dead in Destiny universe.
Destiny Left 4 Dead.
Dude, you could even do it with a Hive. You could do it with anything. You could, you could do it plenty of ways. You could slice it 30 ways. I don't think it's particularly like pertains well to the way Destiny is set up, but you could do it. I mean, you can swing a fucking sword, right? Like, cool.
Left 4 Destiny.
Left 4 Destiny. Beautiful. Oh my God. What is this fucking podcast?
It's funny because it's a dead game.
Destiny, dead game, left for Destiny. Beautiful. All right, we got time for probably one more. I'm going to find someone to fucking host. It's going to be good. But
everyone's banging on about Aldrin. They really want to talk about this fucking Aldrin thing.
Matt, tell them why it's not Aldrin.
Oh, I haven't looked at it. What does it say?
Oh, I just know a non-pig. I just know a non-pig says it's not Aldrin, so I'm just going to back that 100%.
A non-pig. Oh, yeah, non-pig's usually pretty on the money. The only thing we know about Aldrin is he has a ghost called Pulled Pork who has pink and silver. Do you see a ghost in the photo?
I didn't even think. Hang on.
Do you see a ghost in the photo?
I'm going to.
And also in the lore, isn't he? Isn't Aldrin supposed to be massively like cowardly and scared because everyone hates his guts and he doesn't know why?
Oh, he does have the fucking Ahamkara stuff on.
Yeah, he's got that on his left arm. Definitely.
And he does have what's that gun? That's the Kvostov, isn't it?
Looks like it. Yep.
And he's obviously wearing hunter gear. And we know that the Aldrin is in Cosmodrome.
I think it's a tease. I think it's a tease. I think it's a deliberate red herring.
Yeah, if you wake up with no memory of your previous identity, you pick a name for yourself.
Sure,
yeah, doesn't he know his own name because people recognize him and call him a fuckwit because of the things he's done?
Has anyone tried moving those letters around to spell something different?
Yeah.
Is Johan reincarnated Aldrin Solve?
It says, if you write it out nearly backwards, it says, nah, wash. Wash? Nah. It's a particularly unhygienic guardian. Nah, wash. We're out in the bush, fucking running around, getting dirty. Nah, washing.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There are a couple things that I guess is, I don't want to say it is, but he's got pretty fucking standard gear. Oh, does he have no, he's got a cape. If he had a white sheet or the two things you fuck knuckles. What did he wake up with? A white sheet and a ring, I think. I think he has either of those.
No.
Why would they
I wouldn't carry around a
Aldrin
sheet
only
as a
in the
god.
experience, though?
Yeah, it would be weird, wouldn't it? It'd be really weird.
Why would it be weird?
Well, why would you? I just can't see him being the guide to the New Light experience because it should be someone who actually has some relationship with the tower, right? Like, what? Oh, I'm going to guide you through how to be a guardian, get in that ship and fuck off and never see me again. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. That's my take. Cop that.
Okay.
All right, what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up here. I think we've talked ourselves to a standstill. This is the longest episode we've done in at least a year. I reckon it's been that good. It's been the I don't know. I've had a great time. So thanks, Nomad. Thanks for coming on, man. People want to find you and your content. Where can they find you? Aside from on Monday morning Australian time.
So you can find me at twitch.tv/Ascendant Nomad. I've been doing a lot more streaming lately. But if you really want to see what I'm about, you can find me on YouTube. I have a few videos up there that you may have seen. YouTube.com and just search Ascendant Nomad and you'll find me. Gentlemen, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Dude.
This was a lot of fun.
I'm sorry that it took so long to get you on. It's been one of those things that we've been wanting to do for a while, and it's nice to finally kick it and get it done.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right.
That was a lot of fun.
Where is the law going to find people this week?
Where will the law find you? Right. You go into the statue area. Boom. Pyramid. Statues. Hive. Fallen. Human. Cabal. Oh, what's that? I missed a secret area. You walk past. You follow the shadow of the pyramid. You look down the floor. You pick it up. What the fuck? It's a mobile phone. You look at the mobile phone. Sunday School with Ascendant Nomad, and he's reading the Grimoire Anthology Volume 2. The law has found you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Yep, we'll take it. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Fuck.
Bye.
Bye.